when you're a girl and you're very precocious or premature or too advanced for your age, like, my 3-year-old niece, what happened is, they always say, you act in womanish ways. And sometimes it's only when you reflect later on you realize exactly what they mean. It's because, you have, sometimes you're very intelligent, you have unique characteristics and personalities, very forceful personalities at times, and you don't always understand the importance of that experience in terms of shaping and framing who we are. And so what I'd like to say to Jan, congratulations on launching this book, but also to pay tribute in celebrating the unique learning experience of Afro-Caribbean women. Because I think that's very important, because when I look back and I reflect, very important in shaping key milestones in my upbringing and in my history, in my progress and in shaping who I am today. And I speak to a lot of other women of Caribbean background, and one of the things that they've said is that, we sometimes underestimate the importance, the relevance of our grandparents or grandmothers in particular, or aunties, and the influence they've had it being, sometimes the epicenter of learning and the experience we have in our communities and in our own families. So this story, the series of stories and narratives, brilliantly encapsulate that empowerment, because I think it's not only about the wisdom that they've had in terms of, and most of them have now and continue to pass down, but it's how it's actually framed our learning, and it's framed from their experience, their lived experience of struggle, and facing up to some of the big social, economic, and political challenges of our time. I remember as a girl in Trinidad and Tobago, going to trade union meetings, political meetings, where people were talking about the importance of, independence, the importance of self-determination, the importance of actually being in control of your own destiny. And it's only when I reflect back, I realize how much I've learned from their far-reaching insight, the knowledge, the experience, the skills. And I can tell you, being streetwise and smart and sharp, being able to think quickly on your feet. People always say, sometimes, Gloria, oh, you're very quick thinking on your feet. And you realize that, how they've done it. When you reflect back, they've done it with humor, very cutting humor that, put you in your place so quickly. But at the same time, it's learning in a very different way. It's not the traditional formal way of learning. Because my mom tells me every day, they were actually under British colonial rule. They weren't allowed to learn in the way that they had to. I mean, they were going to pick cotton at the age of, 5. They'd be there picking cotton. My mom and dad tell me this every day. I've got it on video about their experience. And then they had to go to school. They had ambitions, they had aspirations, but they were actually held back by all of the isms that shaped their life. Colonialism, racism, exploitationism, every ism, and so a lot of them did not actually have the opportunity that we have, to tell their stories in a formal, documented way, but it was very empowering, inspiring, and the fact that, they have come through these struggles, so much stronger, more successful, dealing with all the complex and challenging issues. And one thing I've always said, you do not underestimate them. You do it at your peril, because that generation of Caribbean women, they have been the backbone of our communities in so many areas and in so many ways. And you know, the one thing I know is that they have got brain, they have got brawn, and they have got backbone. My mum, you know, would go into the boss's office and she would say, I don't care who you are, you could be the Queen of Sheba. My name is Olga Mills, and I'm telling you, this is exactly what the position is. And I saw her doing that all the time. She would go to the doctor. I remember her having a cataract operation. And the doctor said to her, Miss Mills, I think, you know, after about 3 weeks, you know, I think you're fit to go to work. And she said, Doctor, I'm telling you now, you did not have this operation. I will tell you when I'm fit to go back to work. He said, Miss Mills, no problem. Whenever you're fit to go back to work, you tell me. Now, I learned this, you know, and it's the sort of things that you see happening all the time. They stand their ground. They stand firm. And I've always said, it's really important being part of that rich history, that rich legacy, and also that wealth of learning that has given me so much inspiration. And the one thing I've learned, my mum have always said, whatever power people have, it's irrelevant. It's the power you have within to say no and to stand your ground. So one of the things that I have learned is that all of the key changes we have had in our history, it's because of individuals using their own power, their strength of character, their force of personality and purpose to bring about the changes that we have seen in our lifetime. And you know, you can see it in a lot of struggles we've had over the years. And I think that personal power is so transforming that we must never underestimate that power. And you know, just to say, I think Muhammad Ali was someone who demonstrated that personal power when he made it clear that he was not going to go as part of the draft. He said, you know, the people in Vietnam, the Vietnams, they have never lynched me, they've never said dogs on me, they've never treated me, you know, in a discriminatory way. And he said, I won't go. No, I won't go. Take me to jail now. I mean, that was something I always remembered as a girl, you know. But all I would say is that, you know, we must celebrate what we have learned. We don't need role models. We have role models in our grandmothers, our aunties, our mothers, and in our communities. And I think if we paid more attention in learning, reflecting on what they do, what we see them, how they struggle, how they deal with things, I think we have a lot to learn. And I think, and I owe them a huge debt for the success I have in life, because I've learned from the smartest women. And you know, the worst thing about it is that I did not realize, you know, one of my aunties who came to this country in 1947, who owned quite a lot of land that, you know, she has left for us, who owned, you know, quite a lot of shipping companies, who came to this country, who bought 5 houses in this country, and I never knew she was unable to read and write. You know, I never knew. All I ever heard her say was never put your thumbprint or sign any paper. No, but you know those clever ways, never take out any debts against your land, because asset was the only thing that you had to sustain your progress in life. But also, always have someone you know that you can trust to check through all of your papers before you actually say yes to anything. And I have learned that so much, and I think it's really important that, we pay tribute to that generation, and I must say all of the things I've had, all of the access I've had to good education, that money has not bought. It was really good education, state education they fought for. All of the things that I have had in my life, I have earned, and I have had through paying attention to what they have taught me and what I've seen. Observation, listening, learning. That's helped me so much, and I want to pay tribute to each other and also pay tribute to them. So